Okay, it's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Fuller's and it is a bottle of their Wild River double hopped pale ale coming in at 4.5% ABV. This beer has been brewed with Liberty, Willamette, Cascade and Chinook. This is going to be a really kind of zesty American style brew. And it will be because it's been inspired by the American craft brewery movement in America. Of course. There's the bottle cap. Let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. But before I do, I would like to thank beersofeurope.co.uk for sending us the beer. Beersofeurope.co.uk are the UK's largest online beer store. They sell this, for instance, and they sell a lot of other craft beers. Beers that you may not normally find on the supermarket shelf. You'll find at Beers of Europe. If you've been talking to your mate and he said, try some Magic Rock or try this Wild River from Fuller's, or try some Stone Brewing Company, beers from America, then try it at beersofeurope.co.uk. Well worth a look. It should be your first port of call when buying craft beer. There you go. Bit of smoke on the opening. Nice zesty looking beer. Look at that. It looks like a pale ale. It's a deeper colour than a lager. It's got almost an orangey. It's just a deeper colour. It's orangey. It's more kind of. It looks like a glass of hoppy beer. It's a one finger white head. Carbonation streaming up the middle of the glass. Not too much. It's not overly carbonated. It's not firing away. Get my nose into this one then. Right. Straight away there's something that caught my nose, and that was unmistakably Fuller's Yeast. On the aroma at least, it's got all of them American juicy, piney, grapefruity, lemon, mango aromas. But it's got for me, and it's only because I've experienced this in the past, with one of my own beers. Fuller's are using their own ale yeast in here, and a lot of American craft beers use a yeast that really doesn't give off a lot of flavour. It's just used to ferment the beer, and that's it. It's not used to like a Belgian beer or a German beer, where the yeast can sometimes, or quite a lot of the time, be a big part of the beer. It's a big flavour. The Americans don't want that. They want the hops to tell the story of the beer. And I'm getting a mix here. I'm getting a mix of Fuller's own yeast and American hops. But let's give it a try. I'm sure it's going to be a good beer. It's really quite hoppy. It's grapefruity. It's lemony. It's zesty. It's piney. It's got a bit of orange peel. But it's almost as though that British, if you like, that British traditional style yeast that some of the regional breweries use, including Fuller's, has just kind of gone like that with a net. And they've thrown a net over all of them hops. And the hops are going, they're trying to kind of escape. They're trying to get out of this net. And some are getting out. And some are caught. And it's just a bit... I think you know what I'm saying. It's all a bit musty. And it's all a bit... cloudy. Not cloudy in the look of the beer, but it's all a bit cloudy. For a newcomer to beer, it's almost as if you get a little bit of that kind of London Pride taste, and that's just coming from the yeast. It's not bad at all. I am not standing here absolutely kind of ripping this beer apart. If I saw this in a bar, or if I saw this at a bottle shop, I would more than likely buy a bottle for myself. But I just feel like Fuller's really could have smashed it. They really could have kind of really gone out there and caught the beer world, the kind of regional beer world, by surprise with this, if they used American alehouse yeast. The yeast that doesn't really give off a lot of taste and aroma, and it's just a bit of a shame. It just holds it back a little bit, because the hops, there's nothing wrong with the hopping levels. It all tastes rather grand and tasty. It's nice and malty as well. It's a balanced beer. It is, I would say, yes, it is double hopped, but it's the yeast that just lets it down a little bit. So for that reason, Fuller's Wild River Double Hop Pale Ale gets I'm going to go with a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer reviews, and cheers.